Charlie, what's up? You see how nowadays, anytime you ask someone what's up, the usual response is, I'm tired, my brain. It's really something, Charlie. Like, growing up is not easy. Like, a few years ago, a couple of years ago, we were living carefree, Charlie, and nothing they concern you all over the place, Charlie. Having the best time of your life. And then all of a sudden, you care about every single thing, and it's weighing down on you. It's not easy. Growing up is not easy at all, Charlie. Like, you have to think about everything. And I know a lot of people can relate to it. I mean, school especially. School has become like terror. Everybody wants to get a degree, but the work to get the degree has become something else. Like, a whole lot of thinking, plenty. And it's not easy, Charlie. The Abrabo is not easy. As I said in my last video, ball 6 kalo, you umkek. I feel they will be very, very tough. You gotta understand. And so, Charlie, thinking about it, and like you realize how difficult it is in the very little things, like the amount of time you are willing to spare to communicate with people. And so it means that relationships have to become like a conscious responsibility. You are no longer winging it. You actually have to make time for people. You can see it in certain decisions that you have to make. You realize that now more than ever, every decision you make has a serious impact on who or what you become. And so, like, the transition is very tough. Like, is life really that simple? I don't believe so, though. Like, speaking from a strictly faith-based point of view, there is purpose, right? And it is important that you find the purpose. Sometimes, when you do find the purpose and you are able to achieve the purpose, indeed it is counted as success, but not in the sense that you may think about it. Paul was very successful. Very, very successful. I mean, and I'm talking about Paul in the Bible. He did everything he ought to do. He says, I've run the race. He did everything, right? But this guy suffered. He really suffered. Getting stoned, being in prison. Like, to you today, that would be probably a failure. Like, how your life could feel messed up like that? Like, 247, you did prison, then they stone you for here, then you did, hey. But that was a success. And so sometimes you have to pause and ask yourself, this thing I'm pursuing, am I pursuing it for luxury or I'm pursuing it for success? Do you want to get comfortable or you want to be happy? And which one will you esteem higher, comfort or happiness? Think about it. I mean, it could apply to a lot of things. Your relationships. Will you go out to the person because the person has a nice face and a beautiful house, a nice beard and body? Or you are pursuing happiness, long-lasting happiness, someone with a developed character, someone who is mature, someone who is able to, raise a family. And like, there are very important questions in here. All of these things are running through your head, Charlie. And Charlie, you don't have space to breathe. Hey, Charlie, it's not easy. It's not easy. But such as adult, such as becoming an adult, such as taking responsibility. Someone said something very interesting. I believe it's Miles Monroe. He says that the future isn't ahead of you. The future is in you. And the future is what you cultivate it to be. And so, whatever possibility, whatever you will become, whatever you can think of as this is my future, it's actually not ahead of you. It's actually already inside you. Do you understand? And this is the example he gave. He says that the future of a seed is a tree, but the tree is in the seed. Alright, and you don't see it when it's small like that until you plant it, until you pay a certain attention to it, until you give it the necessary conditions, until you allow certain laws and principles to work on it. And it's something that you can really apply to yourself. Your future, whatever you become, is already resident inside you. What is left is the necessary conditions to plant that idea, to begin to cultivate that idea, subject that idea to the necessary laws which will allow it to grow. And there are a lot of laws that you have to subject your ideas to. Down to is a whole Tinkerbell kind of thing. And Charlie, it's not easy. It's not easy. The message is simple for me, from my end. I mean, I'm going through stuff right now. I mean, the boy is single, for crying out loud. I'm single. But I'm going through it, Charlie. And I know a lot of people too are going through it. It's not everybody who was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Perhaps my case is even better than some people, but Charlie, you two are going through it. And the message is simple. Hope. Like, there's hope, Charlie. There's hope. There's hope. You just have to subject yourself. Everybody has a time. There's a time, there's a season, it is all there. You just have to apply yourself to it. You just have to. I mean, there's people say that, plan ahead. And it's important to do such things. I mean, my own school says that you can't think ahead. But sometimes in the heat of the whole thing, the best option is to live in the moment. Appreciate what is going on around you. Every day you wake up, try to do something which brings you closer to what you want to achieve. It might not always be easy, and usually when you set out to do it, you will fail a lot of times. But it doesn't mean you should stop. I mean, even as I'm saying this, I'm still advising myself because Charlie boy, sometimes frankly, sometimes like when someone says my bread, the usual notion is that this person is lazy. But really, like, people get tired. People really get tired, and it's something, Charlie. It's something. But Charlie, there's hope. There's hope. There's hope. There's hope if we will stand with each other, right? And help each other and support each other and be there for each other. Everybody, no man is an island. We are all social creatures. We need people. And so, help a brother, help a sister. Be there for one another. Don't mess around with people's feelings and emotions. Get up and do something for yourself. There are a lot of things that you can do. You know your own talents and things like that. And it is time you apply yourself. A lot of the things we find ourselves doing now, by way of a course. I mean, there are certain people who believe that they found what they are supposed to do in life and this is their calling, and wonderful. A lot of people too are pursuing their courses for the money and the prestige that comes with the course that they are doing. And so it gets difficult to actually apply yourself to study something when you know that it is just for the money. And we live in a world where, of course, there are a lot of get-rich schemes and a lot of easy ways to make money, and and so when you know that there's an easy way to make the money and you are having to subject yourself to long class hours and assignments and things like that, then you realize that, Charlie, this year it has become a burden. And so sometimes you have to ask yourself, and it's difficult because your parents have a certain expectation. They want you to do a certain thing. They want you to act in a certain way. And you also have something you want to do. There's something that you know in your heart of hearts that if I sow the seed right, and I pursue it, indeed, I will be happy. But the question remains, am I pursuing comfort or am I pursuing happiness? And I'll just leave you with this question. Is it better to pursue stability in life or to pursue happiness? Which is to say, should I go on and do something I don't want to do, I don't like to do, simply because it will give me the stability? Or I should find true happiness in my success, in being able to do something I love to do, regardless of whether or not it makes me stable. I mean, probably the best option is to do something you don't want to do and remain stable whilst you work at doing something you want to do. Well, that's my question to you. And so that's all for today's episode. Thank you for being around. This is the Heart to Heart, and this has been Extra Week. And so until we meet next week, it's a goodbye.